I love a lot of things. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love my granddaughter. I love pizza. I love tacos, all that kind of stuff. But few things excite me as much as understanding how meaningful and significant leadership can be. And when someone truly grasps and begins to understand the scope, the magnitude, and the impact that they can have when they embrace leadership and the leadership capacity that resides within them, well, that's exciting stuff. One of my favorite thoughts and mottos comes from Paul's letter to the Romans in the New Testament, where he says, if God has given you leadership ability, take the responsibility seriously. Just unpacking that in and of itself can be a lot of fun. And you don't even have to be a religious person to appreciate that. But something as far back in antiquity as the New Testament, mentioning the importance of leadership and how if you have a leadership capacity or ability, that you have an obligation to take that responsibility seriously. So two things right in there: that one, leadership is in fact a responsibility, and two, it's a responsibility that must be considered seriously. It's not just something that can be haphazardly approached or just something that you take for granted as you either have it or you don't, kind of a thing. It actually requires you to focus. It actually requires intentional development, and it requires you to take thought into your actions and the intents and outcomes of those actions, especially if you consider yourself to be a leader. And what's interesting in today's day and age, you have heard and you've probably been told that you're a leader, that everybody is a leader. And if everybody is a leader, and I'm not saying everybody is, and I don't know that I agree with that sentiment, but let's just go with the contemporary thought of the day. If everybody is in fact a leader, then everyone has a certain responsibility and obligation to develop that leadership, and everyone ought to be taking their leadership seriously. If they are not taking it seriously, then I would argue that maybe they're not a leader. And I would say one of the prerequisites to even help us determine who is and who isn't a leader is someone who takes the responsibility of leading seriously. And if we don't take that responsibility seriously, we do a disservice not only to ourselves, which should be obvious, but more importantly, and much more consequently, takes a toll on the people who we're supposed to be leading, or to the people who we supposedly have influence over. So again, I think it's really important that we understand leadership transcends just a role or a title that we have. It transcends a position of authority that we might hold in our organization or our department. And it goes outside of that, and it becomes part of our identity and who we are. And if leadership hasn't seeped into the other aspects of your life, again, I would question whether or not you're really a leader. Those who are leaders among us know that they're leaders in every context they find themselves. They're always trying to influence. Now, I'm not talking about manipulate or coerce. There are some people who are always trying to manipulate and coerce in every situation and every environment they find themselves in. That's not leadership. That's something else, but it's not leadership. The authentic leaders among us understand that it is a responsibility that they carry, and their responsibility is to make the people around them better. And that's a serious thing. So they take it seriously. So again, to consider yourself a leader and not take seriously the influence that you have, not take seriously how you develop that influence, not take seriously how you impact other people around you, are all things that leaders do and non-leaders don't do. So this notion and idea that everybody is a leader needs to be questioned. And again, I'm not here to challenge that at this point in time. I do believe that everyone can practice leadership, and that's probably what most people mean when they say everybody is a leader or can be a leader. They mean everybody can practice leadership behaviors and leadership skills better than what they're currently doing, regardless of the level they're currently practicing. That I agree with. But this idea that everybody is a leader in an ontological sense, I don't know. Because again, not everybody takes it seriously, and not everybody considers it a responsibility that deserves to be taken seriously. And if those are missing, then I don't think you're really a leader. So I just wanted to leave those thoughts with you. And I think it's important that we understand that regardless of where you fall on that spectrum, leadership is something that is important, is something that can help you navigate the environment that you're in. And more importantly, helps you help other people navigate the environment that they are in. And that's really ultimately what leadership is all about.